tonight, accused of drowning her newborn son.
25-year-old Markia Mitchell of Rochester is charged with murder. Today we learned new disturbing details about what happened. Selena Lewis joins us live on Locust Street in Rochester, where all this happened. Let's start with this, Selena. What new information did we learn about today?
Well, Adam, we learned from both police and neighbors that this was not the first time by any stretch of the imagination that they have been called to this house on Locust Street. We're told that CPS came and removed Markia Mitchell's 7-year-old daughter last year after she allegedly beat her with a hammer.
It's 257 at 31 Locust Street.
Police were called to this house on Locust Street Monday night when 10-day-old Jeremiah Mitchell was found face down in about 10 inches of water.
31 Locust Street, Fulton and Sunday Way across is caller found an infant in a tub of water. It's coded for the not conscious, not breathing. 31 Locust Street on the right.
Police say the newborn had been left there for about 1 to 2 hours before he was discovered and police were called. Jeremiah was rushed to the hospital but pronounced dead shortly after. Police say his mother, Markia Mitchell, admitted to police that she intentionally drowned her infant son in the bathtub and then left the child there to be discovered by his father. Prosecutors are remaining tight-lipped about the case, but added that cases of child abuse are not only devastating, but entirely preventable.
Of course these are difficult cases. The cases of child abuse in our county are always difficult and heartbreaking, and, we would like to bring as much awareness to these issues as possible.
Now, we also learned from court documents that there were several orders of protection against Markia Mitchell filed by the father of those two children. Mitchell was arraigned this morning on those murder charges and is being held without bail in the Monroe County Jail until her preliminary hearing, which is on November 17th. Adam?
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now, this video right here comes straight out of New York, and big shout out to everybody in New York, out of Rochester to be exact. But we have a woman who has a child, and the boy happens to die 10 days later due to the fact of her drowning him. Now, what can make a parent kill their own son, whether he's old or young, but especially a newborn, helpless baby? You know, that should be, you would think that would be one of the most joyous times in a person's world. But this is a lot what we see these days, where we have a lot of moms who's supposed to be the nurturers, the carers of this world, killing their seeds left and right, killing their children like it's going out of style, like it's an everyday thing. So what I'm going to do is read a snippet from this story, and I will give my opinion as we go. Rochester, New York. An upstate New York mother is facing second-degree murder charges after she confessed to drowning her 10-day-old son in a bathtub, police said. On Monday, November the 13th, officers responded to a home at 31 Locust Street around 2:30 p.m. after receiving a report of an unresponsive newborn. They found a baby in a bathtub. Now, how the baby get in the damn bathtub if the baby 10 days old? Know how? The mom, crazy ass, put her there. Sad. Now, the newborn, Jeremiah Mitchell, was taken to Rochester General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at a short time later. Mitchell filled a tub with 8 to 10 inches of water, then left her 10-day-old alone in the tub for 1 to 2 hours, the document said, basically to make sure, little man, but what we call, little boys, was dead. And that's very sad. Like, how evil can you be? What you wanted to go out and do, that party that night, what the guy, the father, whoever fathered this child with you didn't want to be with you no more, so you decide, which in a lot of cases they do, would take the child life because you figure, you wanted to have this baby sometimes to keep a man, or you thought this baby would feel that void in your heart, and it would bring you all this joy, and you can somehow sustain yourself. But when you realize that's not enough, because you have to make yourself happy, and happiness come from within. Because I guarantee you, and the reason why I bring that up, because a lot of you all may be wondering, why did you bring that up, Trey? This is the reason why. Because when you're happy, you're not going to hurt nothing. You're not going to kill nothing. You're not going to let nothing die, if you know what I mean. Now, that's what I meant by being happy, because if you had joy in your heart, there's no way you could do anybody any harm, because you would want to see them happy and see them well off their self. And that's what this world is missing also: love, peace, and happiness, if you will. Now, the boy's mom, 25-year-old Markia Mitchell, was taken from the scene to the public safety building upon being interviewed by investigators. from the Rochester Police Department's Special Victim Investigations. She admitted to intentionally drowning Jeremiah in the bathtub with the purpose of ending his life. Now that's sad. Now imagine if you one of these investigators, these detectives, and you having to deal with this stuff a day in on a day out basis. And salute to anybody, any one of my subscribers who I call my family, because I don't have followers. Like I say, you follow God. But salute to anybody that works in law enforcement, especially dealing with these cold cases, whether they're old homicide cases that's been unsolved, or dealing with this stuff on a day-to-day basis for as people getting killed, especially with the children. You know, my heart goes out to anybody that lose their life, whether it's young or old, as you can see by the videos. But it touched a special place in my heart, and also a special place in my head, what we call our nerves. It really messes with my nerves when I see helpless little children, newborns especially, being taken up out of here by the main one who's supposed to be protecting them. Now that's sad. That shows you this world is coming to an end very fast. A lot of you all might say, well, it's supposed to be coming to an end. But if you don't see the signs written on the walls, evidently you're one of the ones that's lost. Let's continue. According to Rochester 8 court records show that Markia Mitchell and the baby's father were having a custody dispute, just like I said, with several orders of protection were issued against Mitchell. As recently as last Thursday, a neighbor said she had to call the police on Mitchell for threatening to throw the baby out the window. That was a sign right there. You know, let me tell you something. If you around somebody, and this ain't snitching or nothing, so don't sit up there and say no bull crap like this, because we are talking about lives here. And if it takes somebody to snitch to save somebody's life, especially a newborn, whether young or old, but especially a helpless newborn, they can't even do nothing for themselves, just can't even fend for themselves. Call the damn people on the call. We'll put the people, aka 12, aka one time, aka 50, the police, pigs, whatever y'all want to call them. And no diss to the police intended. You know, call somebody who can get over there and stop this situation. Get child services involved, whatever you have to do, because whenever you hear somebody talking like that, evidently it's in their heart, and then it's also in their mind, and pretty soon that thought is finna create an action, and then that's what you have right here days later with her drowning the 10-day-old son in the bathtub. You know, you have to be aware of what people say, because I honestly believe the mouth speaks what's in the heart. You know, if you're not saying things, you evidently don't mean it. You know, so when people tell you certain things, beware. You know, be on guard. That's a huge red flag right there. Now, she shouldn't have kids. Everyone knew that, including CPS, Child Protective Services, and the police. We knew that last year, seeing her with her daughter, said the neighbor. The neighbor said she was devastated, but not surprised it came to this. Mitchell's 7-year-old daughter was removed from her custody last year after Mitchell allegedly beat her with a hammer. Ooh, Lord, let me read this again. Mitchell's 7-year-old daughter was removed from her custody last year after Mitchell allegedly beat her with a hammer. We're talking about the woman, not the daddy. This child was recently returned to Mitchell's care. How can you sit up in here and return a child to a mom? I don't give a damn how sane she looked, you know, because evidently she was insane in the membrane. Like, be real in them, you say, Cypress Hill, you say. She was one who flew over the cuckoo's nest, if you will. But you have to be a sick individual, number one, to beat your child with a hammer. Now, when we was coming up, we got whoopings all kinds of ways, but hey, we still alive today. That's why I'm able to talk, and that's why you all able to see me. We done got whooping with clothes hangers. You know, shit, you might even catch a extension cord back then, you know, but a lot of time we was real bad, and we wasn't no little kids, but still, though, that mess hurt. But at the same time, our mom wouldn't beat her. It make us feel like she beating us to an inch of our lives, but she was stopped. You know, that's why a lot of us still alive today, right now, and a few of us, you know, have been very victimized and beaten by our parents. But at the same time, you know, I believe in discipline. But discipline is not beating no child with no hammer. That's abuse, and she need her ass locked up, and them kids need to be somewhere. Where's the kids' grandmother and grandfather at? Where the aunties and uncles at? This is what I don't understand. You know, when it comes to people trying to be a family, like they say it takes a village to raise a child. But where are the family members at? Why ain't nobody intervene? Everybody's standing on the sideline watching this all go down. Now, the fact that she took the baby's life, the neighbor said that's their fault. She shouldn't have ever had that baby here, ever, because she was totally delusional, crazy in her mind. She was not herself. Evidently, it was a demon on her, or she just a confused person who did not need to be around nobody. Basically, needed to be somewhere where she can get some mental evaluation. Because trust me, if it wasn't the kids that she would start torturing and beating up and killing, it was going to be somebody else later on down the line. Because some kind of way, this rage, this anger in her had to get out, if you will. Now, Mitchell is being held in Monroe County Jail without bail. She will appear in court Friday at 10:30 a.m. for a preliminary hearing. Prosecutors may impanel a judge to file additional charges. So they finna throw the book at her because, number one, we let you go with the child getting beat by a hammer. You know, I don't know how CPS, Child Protective Services, work all that out. You know, they have special things they do with the women, because I guarantee you, if there was a man that beat this child with a hammer, his ass would be in a state penitentiary somewhere, Rikers Islands, wherever the hell they got in New York. But he would be somewhere, clean correctional facility, somewhere doing some damn time. But how did they let this child come right back to this woman? Why wasn't this woman arrested for assaulting and beating this child? You know, that should be assault with a deadly weapon, because hell, somebody can hit you one time in the head. A grown person, a big grown man like me, somebody hit you in the head one time with a hammer in the right place, it can kill you, knock you in a coma, or just flat out kill you. Now imagine what it do to a little child, if you will. And this is sad, and this the type of mess that need to stop. And when you look at her, she looks to me, and I'm not saying this to be funny, you know, I'm not saying this to be funny. I love my black women, I love all women, but what I'm telling you right here, she doesn't look right in the head. And then it's kind of strange, it's kind of sad that once they taking her mugshot, now you want to cry and shed tears. But you didn't want to cry and shed tears when your son was in a damn bathtub, and I'm sure he was hollering and everything else, because who's going to sit up there drowning is one of the worst deaths. It's basically humanly impossible to drown yourself, you know, and this child can't swim, and it's just born 10 days old. So, you know, I'm not going to sit up here and say, imagine if you was that child, because that would be too much to put on the people. But just imagine you standing from the sideline. I know a lot of you all visualizing this right now in your head. Now picture a bathtub right there. Picture a mom in the next room in the hallway, standing at the bathroom door, the entrance, looking at her son with all this malice and evil in her heart. Now picture that little boy in that tub squirming, you know, losing his life. You know, just picture that right quick. You know, a lot of y'all might cry, whatever else, because these stories have to be told. It is something going on in this world that's making these people like this. I don't know if it's the chemtrails. I don't know if it's fluoride in the water, all this bullshit going on in this world, but it needs to stop. You know, it needs to stop. And you know, and I don't understand. I hate to say it, I don't understand why God bless people like these, like this with children. You know, you have people who are good parents, you know, who would make good parents, excuse me, but they are not able to conceive a child, have a child. But these the type of people get blessed with more than one child, and they hurt them and kill them, you know. So they need to be taken out of here. And I hope the judge give her the death penalty, because she's no good to the 7-year-old, because she beat her with a hammer and basically gonna kill her next. So she's no good to no one. And you also committed this murder right here. That's heinous right there, which in my book is premeditated, because you already tried to throw the child out, well, threatened to throw the child out the window a week before. So in my mind, you had this already contemplating going on, and you carried out that action. But anyway, sad story. Rest in peace to Jeremiah. Let me know what you all think about this sad situation right here also. And if you got any family members talking crazy, or if they just go overboard beating their children, talk to them. And if that don't stop them, report their ass. Because let me tell you something. Once you know about a certain situation involving a child, and you let something, you allow, not let, but you allow something to happen to the child without trying to intervene on that child's behalf, their blood is on your hands. So remember that. But if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you like, subscribe. Till next time, stay blessed. Love your children. If you don't want to have children, stop having sex then. And forget the protected sex. Just stop having sex then. You know, go masturbate or something like that. Because sure enough, you lay down, it's a good chance, unless you sterile, unless you can't have children and you know it, you might have a child. Then what you gonna do then? Kill it? Think about that today. I'm out.